Let's go. Let's do it. Let's do it. I got my glasses on still. Get these off. Oh, I got the wife with me today.
Hello.
Episode 538, Sold Not For Sale podcasts / date night conspiracy. Because it's nighttime. We had a great day together.
We did.
And we always like to end the day off with talk of all sorts of mystical and wonderful things.
Yeah, this continues our date night.
Yeah, pseudoscience, conspiracy, fun things like that.
All the good stuff.
Yeah, who we getting into today? It's Percy Fawcett.
Yes. I always want to say Percy Jackson for some reason.
Is it verified that his name is Fawcett?
Yeah.
Like that's how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
Okay, so this gentleman was basically, from my understanding, because I don't know much, I sent it to you because from the sounds of him, he sounded very interesting. Gentleman was an explorer through the Amazon.
Yeah.
So he explored the Amazon. He did. It sounds like he was doing more than most people. He was like really relentless with it. I'm going to be playing a Joe Rogan clip for you guys where Joe Rogan and this explorer talk about him a little bit. They're going to touch on some other things: disease, lost technology, our disconnection from the stars. And then you have a clip that you wanted uploaded. What does that clip touch on? Just real quick, sum it up.
Well, it touches on a little bit of what Percy Fawcett was looking for.
Okay. So he was looking for something. There's a movie called The Lost City of Z.
Yes.
So I guess he was looking for, we'll just for now call it the City of Z.
Yeah.
And that's what he was searching for.
Well, he called it, he was British, so he always said the City of Zed.
The City of Zed. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I really like this guy. Hope you guys enjoy this as well. What do you want to do? Let's do Rogan clip first.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, we're going to go Rogan first. Then we'll talk about Percy a whole bunch. And then we'll get into that other clip. Before we do all that, though, of course, you know I have to bring you to IamCoachColin.com, the Sold Not For Sale clothing brand, the greatest anti-establishment clothing brand known to man, if I say so myself. I'm a little biased, though. You can get your Public Enemy #1 shirt here. We have hoodies and tank tops as well. We also have, for those of you that survived the psychological experiment, we have the certificate of achievement for those of you that survived the pandemic, unscathed, untainted, pure blood. And we have the Sold Not For Sale shirt, of course, the one, the only, the one that started it all, my personal favorite. It's not my personal favorite. Public Enemy #1 is, but this one is like a baby to me.
Yeah.
Because
it's the classic.
I made it. It was great. I'm very happy about it. It made the name of the podcast, the clothing brand. But anyway, anything you just saw and anything that you see on the website, if you want 10% off, all you got to do is put in the discount code I am Coach Colin. That's all capital letters, all one word, one L in the name Colin, and that gets you 10% off. And if you've chosen to do that with us already, thank you, thank you, thank you. You are much appreciated. You ready to get into this clip?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Let's go.
And there's really no way to get... Does anyone speak their language? Do we know what language they all speak? Is it universal? Do they have different languages?
It's not universal, and there was someone in our region who captured a child from the uncontacted, raised him in a very remote community, and people have tried, anthropologists have tried. They've been like, hey, so what was it like when you grew up? And it's dark. He's just like, I don't remember. Like, no one's been able to get any information out of him.
How old was he when they captured him?
I think 6. Under 10 for sure.
Does he not remember? Or does he just not want to talk about it?
I don't know. That's there's all these underlying stories. Oh man, yeah. There's just. Then last year, some loggers went to a place they shouldn't have gone, and they got whacked. And sort of like the WhatsApp underground in Peru. Like everyone was sending each other pictures because one of the cops sent to his family a picture of what the bodies looked like on day 6, laying on the beach with arrows in them and shit. And it was like, oh my God. It was like this. It makes you stay in bed at night. You're just like, I'm not going out.
Jesus.
But I mean, yeah, it's a complicated topic because there's people that want to contact them. There's people that want to leave them alone. And then of course there's missionaries that are like, they need the Bible.
What did you think about Lost City of Z?
I loved the book. I wanted more from the movie.
Of course.
Yeah.
There's only so much time and
yeah.
Hollywood fuckery.
Oh God. The book was fantastic, and that guy was out of his mind.
Out of his mind.
Out of his mind.
Yeah.
Percy Fawcett.
Yeah.
Percy Fawcett. But the fact that he could go on those expeditions and not get infected. Mm-hmm. I've been brutally let me show you. I'll show you this picture. I don't think there's any way of pulling this up, but
Oh my God.
Like the jungle just gets into your skin.
Oh, what is that on your face?
MRSA infection. It started like, mosquito bites, and then I would scratch, and then you don't realize you're spreading it with your fingernails, and you like go like this and shit. And so then, I almost died from that. Like that was, but I was staying in the jungle to like take care of an anteater. But it's like,
how did you get free of that? Like if you're in the jungle, did you use antibiotics?
Go home.
You just go home.
I had to go home at that point. I remember I got to JFK, and the guy, he like looked down at my passport. He goes, "Yeah, what were you doing in Peru?" And then he looked up at me and he goes, "Buddy, what the fuck?" And I was like, "I'm just trying to get it." He like stamped it. He was like, "Go, go, 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 go." He's like, "Go to the doctor." I can't believe they let me through.
Right, you could have been infected with some crazy plague.
Could have had like monkey Ebola. Like
yeah.
it looked bad, and I spent days in the hospital. Like it was really, really bad. But for Percy Fawcett to not, they would say like other people would be dying. There was somebody, I think the guy's name was Murray. He came from the Shackleton expedition. He'd already been out with Shackleton, so he was like, "I'm a real explorer," and he didn't last any time with Fawcett, because Percy Fawcett was just like, "You can't keep up, go die. You can go die with the mules." Like he just wouldn't stop. So my question is like, did he go out and eventually get killed, or did he eventually go out and like find the tribe that made him their king and just?
There's no knowledge.
There's no knowledge of it.
Yeah, no one really knows what happened to him.
And they said in that book that over 100 people have died looking for him since he left. Because then the other expeditions that have gone out, all of those have died too. And it's like, yeah, look at him. Look at the look in his eyes.
Hard man. That is a hard man. Look at him. That looks like a guy who could survive in the Amazon.
Jeez.
Who tells you to keep up. Look at the fucking feral eyes on that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Wow. The story's so fascinating because now we know through the use of LiDAR that there really were complex cities in the Amazon.
Yeah.
Which is just incredible that the jungle just swallowed up all these very complex structures.
Yeah, it's funny because somebody sent me a video of Graham Hancock. Saying how he was like, yeah, and he goes, the jungle's basically a human-made garden. And then, of course, I went and talked to like every scientist I knew because I was like, come on. And they're like, look, in the areas around the rivers, there were complex. There was no debating it. There were complex civilizations, sometimes larger than we think. But in those areas, you see a higher prevalence of like he said, like they'll plant Brazil nut trees, they'll plant, whatever. I don't think bananas were there at that point, but where there was some gardening happening. But what worried me then was then like Smithsonian came out and put out like an article and they're like, is the Amazon created by humans? And it was like, oh God, no. Because like then you're changing it from a designation of like this incredible, complex, wild, ancient ecosystem to, if people don't understand the context of what he's saying, that people engineered it in places. And then the headlines went to the Amazon was made by people. And then you have people like Brazil's president, Jair Bolsonaro, who's no longer in office, but just being like, well, if we made it, we can manage it, right? Oh. Let's go take it out. And I was like, oh God. I was like, be careful. I was watching him on your show and I was like, oh, be careful. Because like the work he does is great.
I see what you're saying, but the implications of that narrative.
Yeah. And again, 100%. There are, dude, I mean, there's, you find pottery in places, but it's always near the rivers. Like there's evidence of ancient civilizations. You want to hear the craziest thing? One of my guys found a stone axe head. Now here's the thing. The uncontacted don't have rocks. You won't find a rock on our river. There's clay. There are no rocks. They found a stone axe head in the jungle at a site from the uncontacted. But what that means is that the uncontacted tribe had a stone axe head that they've been holding on to since like Inca times. Wow. And someone forgot it at the camp. And so you're talking about civilization carrying around something from a previous civilization that they don't know where they got it from. It's like incredible.
Wow.
Because you cannot find there are no rocks like that on a river. It was like a smooth gray stone shaped into like a blunt axe head with, made, so you could attach it to a stick. And they found this on the beach and they'd been using it to like clean turtles. But we don't have those rocks. That's more like an Inca type of thing. So this has been floating around through various people's hands in the jungle for decades, centuries, who knows? And what do they think about where that came from? It's lost technology that they don't understand anymore.
So the thing about the Lost City of Z was that there was a previous expedition that had encountered these cities and these incredible, beautiful, complex cities. And they described how elaborate their clothing was and their culture, their agriculture. And so then when the next expedition went back, there was no one there because they'd killed everybody with diseases. This is the theory, right?
Yeah, and I mean, Orellana was the first person to like go descend the Amazon, which the thing that always drove me crazy about that was that they came down the Andes, made their way down the entire Amazon, and then like looked at the stars, figured out where Spain was, built a whole other ship, and sailed home. Like, think about that for a second.
They built a whole other
ship. You built a whole pirate ship and sailed to Spain based off the stars.
Wow.
And like now, like you look at us now, and it's like, are we smarter than that now? Like, how many people can find your way anywhere without like?
But what is
your
smart,
phone?
really? What smart is your ability to use information correctly. Now, what information do you have? Like, they had information that we don't have because they needed to be able to navigate using the stars, and they didn't have to deal with the kind of night pollution that we have. The light pollution that we have at night it's one of the greatest tragedies about modern civilization is that we've blacked out one of the most spectacular things that you could ever see. The thing that really centers us and humbles us, which is the view of the stars. Yeah. I went to the Keck Observatory a few years back. I went last year, but it was really good last year, but not this one time. The Keck Observatory is in Hawaii on the Big Island, and you go way, way, way up through the clouds, and the view of the cosmos is like you are in a spaceship with a clear glass windshield, and you see everything. There's no light pollution on the island because they have diffused lighting for all their street lights, specifically designed so that it doesn't fuck with the telescopes. Wow. And so when you're up there, I'll never forget it. The one time that I went, which was at least 15 years ago, maybe 16 years ago. That one time was so spectacular that it changed my view of like Earth in the relationship to the cosmos, just by seeing it. Because you see the Milky Way, you see everything, you see all the stars. It just took my breath away. I couldn't stop staring at it. I was like, this is insane. And then I was thinking, God, this is everywhere. This is what the ancients used to see before we figured out electricity and blunted it all and ruined our relationship with the cosmos visually. Because that's what every city does. When you look up at the night sky, you don't see jack shit in New York City. You see a star. Oh, there's the moon. That's it. What is up there is literally the most spectacular thing that humans could ever witness. And it's there every night if you don't have light pollution and cloud cover.
So, like...
There it is.
Wow.
There it is. Yeah, so they touch on Percy there. Lost City of Z. And we should have... well, it's actually for a whole other episode. Graham Hancock's work, and beyond Graham Hancock, people have just found using, I think Joe mentioned it, using LiDAR.
Yeah,
they can see like the city.
Yes,
almost like, you know, they have a vision of it.
Yeah,
you know, very, very interesting. Now to Percy Fawcett. Oh, and just for anybody, you can pull up what you got with Percy Fawcett, but just for anybody who's wondering what a MRSA infection looks like, that is what this gentleman was talking about. That is the gentleman that was sitting with Joe, and this is his MRSA infection.
Jeez.
I would not have let him, I already said this to you, I wouldn't have let him in the country.
No, absolutely not.
I would have been like, buddy, we have a room for you. We will call a doctor. You cannot come into
that's
populations.
crazy. Especially if it's just contagious by like scratching and moving it around.
Yeah.
That's insane.
What plane were you on, bro? We got to burn it. Immediately.
Yeah.
But I'll take that disgusting stuff off the screen for you guys. Just if anybody was wondering what a MRSA infection looks like. So what do we know about Percy Fawcett?
He was British.
Of course.
And he was in the British Army. He was a colonel.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's one explanation why it was so hard.
And he was... he actually did several expeditions to the Amazon.
Okay.
And he seemed to get fixated on this city that he had heard of. So he read a bunch of research and had by 1914 formulated ideas about a lost city that he named the City of Zed.
Wow.
Which was somewhere in the Mato Grosso region of Brazil. So he theorized that a complex civilization once existed in the Amazon and that isolated ruins might have survived. So that's what he was looking for the entire time.
How did he come to that determination?
I don't know. Well, he's an archaeologist. He was a cartologist.
Okay. So he was piecing some stuff together that he was like getting his hands on.
Yeah,
probably.
Exactly.
And
yeah.
like working with colleagues and stuff and hearing different things.
Exactly.
Yeah. And also, why wouldn't you think that? Like, why, like anywhere. Like to think that even in America that there wasn't some ancient civilization is crazy.
Exactly.
For sure there was.
100% there was.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
I would just assume.
Yeah.
It would just make the most sense.
For sure.
People have been around for a long time.
Yeah. So that was 1914 that he had this theory. Mm-hmm. And Joe and this guy were talking about how he went multiple times. Paul, thank you. Yeah. He went multiple times, and there were like guys who couldn't keep up with him, who were like famous explorers and whatever. And it's, in my mind, he was just so driven to find this city. Driven,
and he was in the army.
Yeah.
So they have to do something like, I mean, anybody knows, like, you know, he has to do ruck runs where they put like 60 pounds on your back and you just go for miles and miles.
Yeah.
So imagine giving him nothing and then saying go for miles and miles.
Yeah.
He's just like,
And normally he would travel with a couple other people and then like 8 mules and 3 horses. So they had like a lot of pack animals.
Okay, that makes sense.
To like carry everything and do all like the hard labor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was 1914 that he formulated that idea originally about the lost city of Zed. And then the First World War happened. So he was called back.
Oh, because he's in the army.
Yes.
Wow.
So he was called back to fight in the World War. And then
he did?
He did. He survived. All good.
That's amazing.
Yeah, right? And then after that, so this entire time he's still been fixated on this lost city. So after that, he got financing from a private company in the UK.
Okay.
That was called The Glove. And I couldn't find anything on them. That was the financing group.
Really?
I literally couldn't find a single thing. I looked and looked and looked, but it sounded ominous.
That's what the Illuminati used to call themselves.
Yeah, right. The Glove. So
we are the Glove.
Yeah, he decided in 1925 to go back to the Amazon to look for this city of Zed. And this time he only took his son, Jack, and one of Jack's friends, Raleigh. So they went just the 3 of them, which is considered a very small expedition.
For sure.
And not one that is like likely to be survivable.
Oh, just because they don't have enough people?
Yeah. It just, I guess, makes things harder. Like there's a lot of work and stuff to do, like setting up camp and food and whatever else.
Yeah. But then also at the same time, you're only setting up for 3 people.
Yeah, true.
You know?
Mm-hmm. And then Fawcett, when he left on this last expedition, left instructions stating that if the expedition did not return, that no rescues should be sent because he thought that the rescuers would suffer the same fate if something happened to him.
Wow.
So he was hard. Soldier. Yeah.
Wow.
He was like, guys, if I die, that means you're gonna die. Wow. Like he was sure. Like those were his last instructions.
And for anybody wondering, this is Percy Fawcett that I have on the screen here. Just wanted everybody to be able to see him. Great man. Great man. I mean, to just take on that and to bring your son. The guy's like a Spartan.
Yeah.
He's like, we're probably going to die, guys. Just don't worry about us if we do.
His poor wife.
Right?
That's horrible.
But she was, if he's like this, he probably chose a lady that was like,
yeah, I don't know.
Come back with your shield or on it. One of those, you know. He must have. Very interesting. So what else do you know about him from there?
Well, from that, so his final expedition departed in April 20th, 1925. Mm-hmm. And the last communication from him was on May 29th. So that's when he was at a certain point that he called a dead horse camp. Okay. Because on a former expedition, that's where his horse died and he had to stop. Oh, so that was the farthest he's ever gone before. So he sent a letter to his wife from Dead Horse Camp, given their location and everything else and what they were about to do. And the tone of the letter said it was like generally optimistic. Really? Like he said, like, oh, like don't fear any failure.
Really?
Yeah. That's the last time they were ever heard from.
How did he send that letter?
They had like guides with them.
Oh, so they would like send a guide back, like take this letter?
I guess. I don't know. But I think they were like around like there were still like villages and stuff in that area because that was area that was known to the Western world.
Okay.
So he was about to cross
into the unknown.
The river, I think the river was called Zinga, into what was not ever charted by Westerners.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. What a guy.
Yeah.
I don't know why this movie didn't do better. This is a movie, The Lost City of Z.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I want to watch it, but like also knowing it flopped makes me not want to watch it.
I don't know. Maybe it didn't get the right amount of coverage. Maybe there's something they want to cover up.
I don't know.
You never know.
I don't know.
Right? Like, you got to think about that.
Yeah.
They will cover things up like that if there was a lost city, which I fully believe that there was.
Yeah.
And it was probably highly advanced.
Probably.
Like, way more than they want anybody to know.
Yeah.
Because, again, once you know about that in the Amazon, you have to question what's going on in America. What was there in Canada? Mm-hmm. What was there in Africa?
Yeah.
Beyond ancient Egypt. Like, couldn't just be Egypt that was prospering like that. Mm-hmm. You know, what else was there? China probably knows what else there was in their region. They're just not telling anybody.
Yeah, for sure. But also, like, the Chinese civilization itself is so ancient.
Yeah. Well, again, exactly to what I just said. Like, they know.
Yeah.
They can go back as far as they want, like, and they're just not telling us.
Yeah, true.
They probably just tell us, like, just enough.
Yeah.
They're like, we know enough to do these dances with these dragons.
Terracotta warriors. Yay.
That's it. Anything else, don't worry about it.
Yeah. So he was declared dead along with the rest of the party 2 years later when he hadn't been heard from. Yeah, in 1927. And that's when they started seeing like a big outpouring of volunteers who wanted to go like search for him.
And find him.
Yeah, and see what happened. And they said in the podcast clip that 100 people had died searching for him. That's not true.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, good. Call out then.
Everything I researched said that was just like a fictitious tale.
Oh, really?
And that one lone man died because he went by himself to find him.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But then all the other groups who went just failed in their search, but still came back.
And then ended up coming back home.
Yeah.
Huh. That makes sense. That
Yeah.
makes sense. I mean, it's one or the other, right? You're either going to die or come home when it comes to something like that. Right?
Yeah.
And nobody wants to go out as far as they have to find him.
No, to the point of death.
Yeah. And
to save a dead guy.
And then what are you finding? You're going to find a decomposed corpse.
Maybe.
Or he got buried.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
But it's also like the Amazon.
Or the water.
If there's a corpse, it's going to be eaten.
That too. Like just ripped apart, absorbed into the actual forest.
Mushrooms, whatever.
Yeah.
Like 2 years later, like it's gone.
Yeah, 100%.
That's
You'd
crazy.
look at it and think it was animal bones at that point.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting. Okay, so then what do you have past that? Because I want to start looking at this video and talking about this possible lost city. Because one thing they said in the clip that's very interesting. It's like, did he die or did like he find a tribe and like they made him his king? I don't think they'd make him his king, but maybe you get absorbed by a tribe.
Yeah.
Maybe they find you and they're like, you're out here, you're hard, you're real hard, you can keep up, you could probably fight. And they're probably like, huh, maybe we'll keep this one around.
Yeah. There were some stories of theories of things that had happened to them after talking to native tribes.
What are the theories?
So it said 20 years after he was declared dead. So
Yeah.
I guess that would be like 1957 or something like that.
Okay.
No, 47.
Okay.
There was a chief of a tribe that was called Kalapalo, told his people how the unwelcome strangers were killed by the tribe. But others have thought they became lost and died of starvation. So they had this like kind of passed down verbal story
Of these guys.
of 3 unwelcome travelers.
Wow.
And the story was that this chief's predecessor, whose name was Izarari, had told them that he had killed Fawcett and his son Jack, seemingly by shooting them with arrows after Fawcett allegedly attacked him and the other tribesmen when they refused to give him guides and porters to take them to a neighboring enemy tribe.
What?
Yeah, so that's what their like verbal legend said.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Pretty bold.
Yeah, right. But then also there was other people saying that they helped them, gave them food and sent them on their way, and they watched them go into the jungle, and they told them not to go a certain way because that would go to the enemy tribe and they would be killed. But they went that way anyway, and they were able to watch the fires, like the smoke from the fires they were building every night for 5 days, and then it stopped happening.
Ah. Wow.
So this tribe is 1 saying that they killed them, and then 2 saying that their enemy tribe killed them, basically.
Wow.
So who knows what that is?
I wonder. Because maybe the enemy tribe didn't kill him. Maybe the enemy tribe was like, hey, man, you don't build fires.
Yeah.
Those other guys, they're going to come here and kill us.
Yeah, they're going to eat you.
No more fires. Come with us.
Yeah.
Absorb them into the tribe.
Yeah.
I'm very optimistic that way. I just love the thought process of this guy actually got into a tribe. You know, like what's that movie? Say the movie. You know the movie with the blue people. Avatar.
Avatar.
Maybe it was like that.
Immediately my head was like Smurfs.
You know? He ended up getting with one of them.
Yeah.
You know, had to fight one of the tough guys in the tribe, and then they took him in.
Yeah.
They're like, "You're all right, man."
There was a reporter in 2004 named Misha Williams who had studied a lot of Fawcett's like private papers and journals and stuff like that, who believed that he had not ever intended to return to Britain, but meant to find a commune in the jungle to stay.
This is what I mean. Here's the thing. If I was like that guy, I wouldn't want to come back either. I'd be done with all that.
Yeah.
If I could go deep into the jungle, like I was this explorer person already, I would just go and just be there. Like if a tribe would take me in and I'm traveling, obviously this guy doesn't care about the Western world. It's like he's either, you know, having kid which he brings with him, or he's fighting in wars, murdering people.
Yeah.
It's like...
True. He's never led a normal, soft life.
Never. Or he's traveling through the jungle, sweating, and, you know? So it's like, I would want to go too.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a soft life now, and I almost want to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Simple way of life.
So we were talking about the city of Zed that he was looking for. So he found in the National Library of Rio de Janeiro, a Portuguese explorer wrote a manuscript. It was called Manuscript 512.
Okay.
And it was from, I think, it was like the mid 1700s.
Okay.
And this manuscript was describing that this explorer had discovered the ruins of an ancient city that contained arches, statues, and a temple with hieroglyphics. And the city is described in great detail without providing a specific location. So that's what he was looking for and kind of some of the research that he was going off of. So with that description, we can watch the clip that I sent you.
Yeah, let's do it. Because this is proof enough for me. But you guys know me. I've done a lot of mushrooms. So I don't need much proof. Let's get into this.
Kuhikugu believed that the civilization was built by a highly advanced society that possessed advanced knowledge of engineering, agriculture, and astronomy. Evidence of complex irrigation systems and crop management suggests that Kuhikugu was able to sustain a large population in a harsh, unforgiving environment. The Kuhikugu people lived in the Amazon rainforest in South America between roughly 800, or probably even earlier, and 1600 AD. They were an agricultural society who developed complex irrigation systems to grow crops on the nutrient-poor soil. They also hunted, fished, and gathered to supplement their diet. Their settlements were organized around large circular plazas, with houses arranged in concentric circles around the plaza. The houses were built on stilts to protect them from flooding and predators. Archaeological evidence suggests that the Kuhikugu people had a complex social structure. They created intricate pottery and textiles, which were likely used for trade with neighboring communities. They also built elaborate burial structures for their elite members. Despite their achievements, Kuhikugu's people ultimately vanished for reasons unknown. Theories range from disease and environmental disaster to warfare and political unrest. The most widely accepted theory is disease from coming into contact with Europeans, but it could be a combination of all factors. Overall, the Kuhikugu were a unique and advanced society who managed to thrive in a challenging environment.
Very, very interesting. That's very interesting. And it had the arches, like you said.
Yeah.
That video had the arches.
And agriculture and lots of things going on.
Yeah.
That weren't really done at the time.
Yeah. Like that. Like those are the arches that
yeah,
this
exactly.
gentleman was talking about.
Like it's so similar to you think about like the Arc de Triomphe, and it looks very similar in Paris.
Like you can look at this. If you told somebody this was Rome,
yeah,
you just showed them this
picture. It could
picture,
literally
be like,
in any
cool.
city in Europe.
You know? And
yeah.
they were able to build that. I believe that at some point, these people, I don't think they were as savage as they're letting on.
Yeah.
I think they were more advanced than we could imagine, because we imagine just like stones and like, you know, they're basically like Stone Age people almost. I think when you're seeing agriculture and all these things, I think there was something else going on, and I think they're just not telling us about it. I don't know why. I don't know what purpose that would serve. Like, you know, I don't know.
Even just like the layout, like the circular
Yeah.
layout of their communities.
That's not primitive.
No.
That's
And that
very
was just
smart.
one of the communities. This site was actually linked group of 20 towns
Wow.
that housed 50,000 people
Each.
together.
Okay. All together. Okay.
Total. Like an incredible amount of people for the ancient world to be in one spot. And they even had like roads going to the different communities and canals dug beside the road for water so they could get there by canoe.
Wow.
Yeah. So they had
That's-
lots of stuff going on.
That's, yeah. See what I mean? Like, maybe that guy just went there.
Yeah.
You just, let me be a part of this place.
Well, it was ruins by the time
Oh, okay,
Fawcett was
true.
looking for it.
Well, and that's
Allegedly.
exactly. But that's also a thing. He could wow them. I'm sure they would understand how to fight already and how to do everything, but he could show them how to like flank people and like how to really strategically attack places. Like he could really lay that all out for them. They'd be like, this is incredible.
Yeah.
Like we're going to dominate because of this one ghostly looking man and his son.
Yeah.
Let's just keep him, you know?
Yeah. Interesting.
Become a general.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what he did.
Never know.
If anybody could, it would be somebody like this guy.
Yeah.
But what else? What else is there with Percy?
Not much else with him because it's just totally. Oh, I also found a couple things actually. This was crazy. So in 1927, so the same year that he was declared dead, a nameplate of his was found with an Amazonian tribe.
No.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
No. Mm-hmm. Come on.
I didn't have any other info other than that, but it was theorized that it might have been given by another tribe to this tribe's chief as a gift.
What?
Yeah.
A
So they
nameplate.
found like pieces of his stuff everywhere.
Pieces of his stuff.
Yeah. And then in 1979, Fawcett's signet ring was found in a pawn shop in Brazil.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow. They're handing out, giving that nameplate to a chief. Like, I guess you could give anything to a chief.
Yeah.
But you'd only give something worth something to a chief.
I guess. But like Fawcett could have given that himself,
Yeah,
before he
maybe.
died
Maybe.
and then moved on.
Or maybe he was like a highly sought after figure. And they
I
were
don't
like,
know.
this is the thing. It was
Yeah,
with
this
him.
is General Fawcett.
Yeah.
Yeah.
General White Skin.
And then his a compass belonging to him was also found by a different tribe in that Mato Grosso region that he was exploring. And it says, the nameplate was from Fawcett's expedition 5 years earlier. So from another expedition. So he had probably given it himself.
Okay.
And then the compass was proven to have left behind before he entered the jungle on his final journey.
Okay. Wow.
But it's still weird that they can track those things down and they just show up again.
Yeah.
But the signet ring was a crazy one because that would have been on his finger.
Yeah, the ring is a crazy. I think the nameplate being given to a chief is a wild one, because that's a very odd thing to give to a chief, unless he did it himself, which maybe. But if another person from a tribe gave it to this chief, that's very interesting. Because like, why have any value to that? Maybe because it's a piece of metal.
Yeah, I don't know.
But again, like I don't like making assumptions based on like these people being dumb.
Yeah, they're
like,
not
like
dumb.
they're monkeys and they're like, oh, metal. Like
No.
Like they know things. They know way more based on everything you see. They're obviously very intelligent, extremely intelligent. They're able to live outside. Whereas if you and I tried to do that for like even in the hottest day, it'd be like, oh,
I would be annoyed just tonight.
oh, it'd be so bad. It'd be so bad. How do you defend against raccoons, mountain lions?
We'd see the coyote and get freaked out.
Coyote. Oh my, that was huge. That coyote.
Yeah.
When I was following it around in my car,
Yeah.
that was a big coyote. It was like as big as a wolf. It was crazy. You have no idea how big this coyote was.
It was
was
like
nuts.
a wolf.
It
It
was-
looked like a husky.
Yeah, it was big.
Yeah.
The one that we saw together, that was one. The one I saw by myself
Was
was
bigger?
bigger,
Yeah.
much bigger, and it didn't give a shit about me.
No.
It was like, no, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I'm coming through here. I'm looking for stuff. Don't worry about it. It didn't care for a second about me. It was so weird.
But I've heard the animals are like that in the Amazon as well. They like don't really care because some of them don't even see people ever.
Yeah, they don't know they don't understand the form that they're seeing.
Yeah, so they're not afraid.
Yeah.
Like some animals are here.
Well, they're not afraid, and also they don't know how to attack. So if it's used to like running up to something that's on all fours and grabbing it by the neck and hanging onto it and dragging it down,
or like jumping on his back or
and
something.
it sees you, like it doesn't understand how it's going to do that to you.
Yeah. What are you, upright snake?
Yeah, exactly. Right. With your weird skin and everything, your pig-like skin.
Yeah, weird. Speaking of snakes, it was also said that Percy Fawcett said on one of his first explorations that he saw a giant anaconda that was 62 feet long.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. This guy is the most interesting man in the world.
And everybody laughed at him.
Really?
Apparently. And then another explorer went out and found one that was like 40 something feet long. And everybody laughed at him too.
Really?
Yeah. And then he wrote in his journals, Percy Fawcett did, that it had a penetrating fetid odor, probably its breath.
Whoa.
Yeah, gross, eh? And then other explorers reported a similarly unbearable smell caused by an anaconda's breath.
Whoa.
Imagine getting close enough to an anaconda's mouth to notice that odor. Ugh.
Jeez. That's wild.
Yeah, gross.
62 feet?
Yeah.
That makes sense. I 100% believe that. I believe in aliens. I believe everything.
Especially in like the 1900s when it was
untouched,
not as deforested as it is today.
Yeah. All they need is food and time.
Yeah.
If you give snakes, I think I want to say alligators, maybe crocodiles, but I think they're around the same type of thing as well. That if you give them time and they just get smarter and they keep eating and they get bigger.
Yeah. That's even true with like lobsters. Like lobsters don't technically ever die of old age.
It's just
they just get bigger.
Wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, that makes sense. I mean, the 62 feet doesn't even seem that big. I mean, this Paul guy that was on Rogan, he caught one that was 18 and a half. And those are guys that are looking for it all the time. He claims that he grabbed one that was like this, like a garbage can lid. Of course.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And the thing is, if one of them is 62 feet, going back to time again, it's smarter.
Yeah.
So it's smarter. It's not doing the dumb things that the 18-footers are doing.
No. And it's like deep in the jungle.
Yeah, and it knows. It's like, I'm going to go here.
Yeah.
I go here. None of those weird things come and try to track me or grab me. And I just stay here and I eat whatever I want.
Yeah.
And that's all it has to do.
Yeah.
You know? Like talking about like alligators, there was one that was really big and it had a person. It was like a video. I can't even show the video. But it had a person in its mouth. And the person was like dead. But he wasn't eating it. He just took it and brought it to the boat where people were watching.
Ew.
Like he brought it to them to like show them.
That's so scary.
And then just went under the water. But like really brought it like right to them.
Oh,
like
Jesus.
feet from them. And they were like, what's going on?
Oh, my
God. It's
God.
a person. The hand was gone. So it was like he already ate some of it.
Ew.
But he was smart enough to know I should bring this to these guys so they know to
like
not
a
be
threat.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
The jungle is an amazing place. Amazing place. What else do you have on Fawcett? Anything?
Well, the one kind of funny thing was that he also was ridiculed for saying that he saw dogs with two noses.
Okay. Two snouts.
Yep. And it turns out there actually is something called an Andean double-nosed dog.
Wow, really?
Double-nosed hound.
Why not? This guy's
it's like a legit thing.
He's an explorer. Why not just... I'm not saying why not just believe him. But here's the thing. And you know, Graham Hancock's going through the same thing. Anytime somebody brings up something that a bunch of people don't know about, they just laugh about it.
Yeah. It's like give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt.
It's like, why wouldn't you just absorb, like bring him into the group? What did you find? You found one of those? We didn't know that was possible. That's amazing. Okay, let's move forward with new knowledge instead of laughing about it.
Or like, oh, has anybody else seen something like that?
Yeah, like, okay, he's the only one. Okay, we'll wait until we see a couple more.
Exactly.
But for now,
like you don't have to make a quick judgment like that.
We kind of think that this thing might exist. Somebody says it does, you know?
Yeah.
Especially when all you have back then is people's word.
Yes.
You don't have anything else.
No, because it's not like you had a camera.
Yeah. But I was going to say, Graham Hancock's going through the same thing. And these archaeologists, these explorers, these conservationists, they all have a bias. They all have like a motive. Like you see in that clip how that Paul guy was like, I don't want Graham Hancock to say that this is man-made.
Yeah.
You know, that could be really dangerous.
True.
Well, it is dangerous in the sense of, yeah, that president could decide, let's take it all out. We made it, we can manage it. That's what he was saying.
Yeah.
Right? But it also takes away his job if it becomes the thing that is man-made.
True.
All of a sudden he doesn't have that designation. So it's like, it is dangerous, but it's more dangerous for him. Oh, I gotta hit the thing. We got a studio here, guys, okay? Professionals. But it's more dangerous for him.
Yeah.
You know?
Because then it's like he's just like going through some farmer's field.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not as dramatic.
Yeah, exactly. Graham Hancock's going through the same thing where he brings these things up that nobody's ever thought about, and they all are just shooting him down dramatically because all of a sudden they start losing grants. They were wrong about everything they said. They start losing a lot.
Yeah,
like
that's
a
true.
lot. It's very interesting to see that. Like there's ulterior motives to these people where you think they would just have the jungle in mind or the animals in mind, or, you know, like, but they have certain motives
that are
linked to their jobs.
Who funds Graham Hancock?
Nobody. Well, actually, you know what? I shouldn't say that.
There has to be something.
I shouldn't say that. Yeah, somebody could. But at the same time, he does his research completely banned from Egypt.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Not allowed to go.
Egypt bans everyone anyway.
But like,
they don't like people there.
Not like that, to where you can never go to Egypt again. Like you're never allowed to step foot because you're never allowed to do your research there again.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
I'm not really surprised.
Because it doesn't happen to anybody else. Like, yeah, they'll ban you from filming. Yeah, they'll say you can't take this thing. Yeah, they'll take your footage from you. Yeah, they'll take cameras from you.
Yeah.
But nobody gets banned. Like a person just like, you can't come to this country anymore.
Yeah.
Because of the things you said.
Yeah.
Because of the things you found out and the things you said, you can't come here anymore. That's pretty crazy.
That's crazy.
That's like what's happening to Julian Assange. Julian Assange pointed out some stuff about the government, and they're like, "You like come back here, and you're in jail forever."
Yeah.
So you better stay outside the country because you found out something that was true, and we don't like it.
Yeah.
That's exactly what Egypt's doing with Graham Hancock. It's just very interesting to think about. What's going on there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, and sorry, back to who's funding him. I shouldn't say no one, but you can also say his books do really well. His speaking engagements do really well. I don't know if he gets, I know he doesn't get paid for Rogan appearances, but maybe he gets paid for other podcast appearances. So he does have a strong stream of money coming. And then with the Netflix deal as well.
Yeah, true.
That was probably like, I would venture to say a couple mil.
Yeah. We should watch that again. I like that.
Yeah, it's really good. But and then when it comes to the funding, it's what does he really need in terms of money to do this research? Yeah. It kind of seems like it's just his time, and if it was Egypt, he would have to explore, but he can't do that anymore.
Travel, supplies, so now, a team.
Yeah, looking into people, like it doesn't seem like he needs all that much. You know?
Yeah, I'll look into it.
Yeah, let's look into it.
There's always someone with money behind it.
He is British.
The glove.
If I was Rogan, it would be me. If I had Rogan's money and I knew Graham Hancock, I would just be like, here you go. True. Like, what do you need, $500,000? Sure. Okay. No problem. Yeah. True. Give it back to me later. Yeah. But yeah, let's look into that. That'd be cool to imagine it's the glove.
That'd be crazy. It just comes up again.
It's the Queen. Or it's the CIA. Yep. Who knows? CIA, and he's actually misinformation. He's controlled opposition. He's an agent. Yeah. That'd be crazy. That'd be nuts. So what else? What else you got?
That was it.
That's it?
That was it. We found the lost city of Zed.
Percy Fawcett, ladies and gentlemen. That's an amazing guy. Mm-hmm. I love people who are bold enough to just be like, I'm gonna just go after this thing. Yeah. Relentlessly. And I don't care who's with me. I'm doing it. Yeah. You know?
The only thing I feel bad about it is his wife.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder what her story is.
Yeah.
We'll see. Who knows? Maybe she was happy. Maybe she was
no.
like you. She just supports everything that you do.
I would never be happy if you.
Yeah, but you support what I do. I
Of
mean,
course,
like
100%.
those are his dreams. Maybe
Yes.
she's just like, okay, that's your dream.
Yeah.
Done. Do it. Go and do
bring
it.
the sun too.
Yeah, like
Ugh.
take it. He had more kids.
Yeah, I know.
He had
but
other
still.
kids apparently. So who knows? Maybe he was good with it. You never know.
No one's good with it.
You never know. She might be fine with it. Like back in that day, if you have a husband that goes to World War I, you don't go, "Oh, I wish you weren't going." You were like, "Good for you. You're going. That's
Yeah.
fantastic." No woman was like, "Stay home and don't go to war. Don't."
Well, you couldn't anyway.
Don't be a man. Run away, hide from war. No woman wanted that back then.
Yeah.
Back when women were women and men were men. Boom. Episode canceled.
Limited before it goes out.
Yeah. But you know what I mean. Like that's how it was back then. People were different. If somebody left for a long period of time, you were good with that, and
Yeah,
you
I
were just
guess.
like, let me get a few letters and we're good. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's different. We're used to so much connection. That's like, how dare you not connect with me every like few hours if you're gone somewhere, right? Because we have the ability to do it.
Yeah, true.
But if you don't, it's like, I gotta be okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I wouldn't be okay with it either. I know what you mean. All right, guys. If you haven't liked the video already, like the video. If you're not subscribed already, subscribe. We're making 1 to 3 videos every single day. And for these clips that you saw here, I'm going to be uploading it to a playlist called The Research. And you can watch it all for yourself. Other than that, I am out.
Bye.
There you go. Give the wave.